Hello there and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Fall of the Republic 1.3 former preview playthrough as the CIS. In the last few episodes we've been trying to complete our hug around the core, as we've kind of taken a lot but not all of the planets that are in the Outer Rim, though we are facing a Republic counterattack in some of these areas, which has been, I mean, kind of mean, but you kind of gotta expect it, I guess. So we're gonna be continuing to try to build up on some of our planets, getting our tax base growing a bit. And do we have any missions right now? We do not have any missions at the moment. I think we might be getting one next week, because we've done an okay job at completing some of them. We did get Scipio rather recently, I believe, which is nice because that's a lot of ground units that we should be able to make some good use of. I think I should pull them out. It's a lot of vehicles, which is kind of stuff that we've been missing. So let's get them down to quarter 6. And we're still building some tax agencies there. I think it's going to be a lot of
mission log updated.
A lot of structure building in the near future, as we can kind of see.
Construction.
We have just hit the negatives on our infrastructure on that. But we should be getting out of that pretty quickly. Let's see. We have Mimbon. What's your income? I mean, that's pretty reasonable. So we definitely want a tax agency for you. Krant, you already have one. Christophsis, we definitely want one on. Wait. Local corporate headquarters. What do we actually have here? Oh.
Building started.
Yikes. Alright. Well, we'll keep that for now. And Rhodia, you can get one as well. So we'll be getting our infrastructure score up while still getting our income up as well. So we don't want to take any more planets right now. We do have to kind of hold off for a second. We could go and take out the stuff that's been going over Umbara, but I'm not sure that they can get anywhere particularly dangerous for us. Like, they might go back to Kashyyyk. As long as they don't go to Charos, then we'll be okay. But with the stuff that we have constructing right now, once we get to next week, it should work out okay for us. What I would like to do potentially is, oh, you're mostly ground units as well. Ooh. So I think we might do just a raid. Like, we don't need to kill anything, or we don't need to take any planets. But if we can take one of these two fleets and cause some damage, I think Cato Neimoidia is the best option for us. We're not going to take the actual planets. We're just going to kill whatever we can here, cause them to have to build it back up. I was hoping to catch some ships on that, to be honest. Okay, my voice might sound a little bit weird. I was at Dana's parents' place for the first time, and I met her dogs. Which, I like dogs, but sometimes I can be a little bit allergic to dogs, and that turned out to be the case here. So, yeah. I'm not sure if it'll come across on the mic. We'll see. Do we count for the missile-only challenge? You get in there. We got Hydra Dominatus. We have anti-disestablishmentarianism. And it doesn't seem like they have a hypervelocity gun, which is nice for me. Victory over Yadu. We got CIS bias. We got no missile option. Sad face. But we're going to be starting... So you can get in there. We're going to be starting the next preview playthrough shortly. We're going to be doing a Thrawn's Revenge one. So there's probably a few polls we're going to be going through for that. The first poll is up on Patreon. So for any patrons or anyone who wants to be a patron that wants to vote on who we're going to be playing as, it's going to be another Imperial playthrough because I do want to focus on some of the regime stuff, because there's certain things we haven't really shown off yet. I'm going to get you on that. But yeah, there's certain things we haven't really shown off yet related to the regime changes, especially with World Devastators. Like, they just got their preview video, and people seem to like the idea behind the mechanic. I'm gonna need to move you away. Please don't die, do we count? But yeah, so we're gonna be focusing that playthrough, kind of like we did on the first preview playthrough of Point 3, I think it was, as the Empire. So we're going to try to go through the regime changes in it. And yeah, so the first poll for the patrons was whether we do that with the Empire, with either of the 3 first regimes, so Thrawn, Isard, and Pestage. Or if we do it with Kane, Zinj, Meldrud, or the Ariado Authority. So the patrons are going to pick that one. I'm probably going to do a full public poll on whether we do a known galaxy map or full galaxy map. I kind of want to do a video, like a standalone video, talking about what the unknown regions are going to be like going forward, like in 0.3 and also going forward. Because that's going to be a bit of a work in progress for a little while. And I think if there's a video to kind of lay out what's going to come with that, then people have a kind of better idea of what to look forward to as well. So that might be the next standalone news video, is something just kind of talking about the unknown regions. There was a bit of it that was touched on in the Empire of the Hands faction overview, or future plans for the faction when I did that video. But they're only one part of the unknown regions, which are now much bigger than just them, which is what it was before. So there'll be stuff on that. So yeah, the poll for patrons is basically which regime to do. For the public, it'll be which type of map it'll be on. And then depending on who wins in the patron poll, there might be another patron poll about which era to start in. Like Thrawn, Pestage, and Isard, they kind of pick that for us, but for everyone else, then there's still some options. I think I'm going to continue on doing this. I think we're going to just do a bit of raiding. And because they might have tried to come through Mimban, but we'll just go through Denon, and then we'll come back to Deco. Because I really just want to catch a couple units out, which we're doing here, but it doesn't seem like it's actually all that much. Though we are taking out some stations. This is only a level 1 station, but that's still some resources that they're going to be sad to lose. C9979, you are not a patron unit. You're not either. Once our economy is rolling a bit more, we'll be able to get some of the other patron units as well. So Crusader of Truth, get in there. Back to Transporter. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. Once we do get a few missions as well, I just want to make sure we have the infrastructure to take the planets when they get in. But we're going to be able to get a pretty decent infrastructure score just by building up economic focus structures. Ooh, this is a lot of point defense. So I do need to try to get those down, because otherwise anti-disestablishmentarianism is going to be taking a lot of unnecessary damage. Okay, you're on the shipyard. We don't need more units focusing on the shipyard. Get in there. I think we might actually get through alright on that. And I guess it's only the one real dreadnought,
The engines are our primary target.
which is a little bit sad. I think everything else there was probably a garrison unit. Maybe one or two of the Corellian corvettes was real as well. Yeah, just one dreadnought. Alright, well, we'll get back to Deco. Oh, they sent a UT-AT in. Okay, yeah, there's that stuff coming out. Balmora. Where are we constructing anything? I feel like we did... So I think this was before I fixed yeah, this was before I fixed a display issue with the infrastructure, where the number up here was actually a week behind. Which, that was fixed before the, what's it called? before the release. That's what we do. Release stuff. Commence the hunt. Light frigate shipyard. Was this the one that had problems that got cut? We'll see. Need a light frigate shipyard. We'll get PDF. This is for the banking clan. And that'll give us one of these two pretty... you know what? We can sell those for some stuff. We're at 9 infrastructure. We're going to keep getting some of that up. I'm not going to do it on Umbara or Mimban in space, because there's a chance that they'll just send something through, but we'll get 2 more economic structures there. You have nothing you're doing economically. Okay. Maybe I'll put the core destroyer just sitting over Mimban, just to stop them from being able to get down into Bothawi unless they make an actual attack. That's 36. We have... I mean, we do have Trench's fleet down here, which we can move over. Like, we could do at least an attack on Bothawi. Though we don't have the best options for that. Here, let's put those 2 PDFs on you. This is an okay fleet. Maybe we'll go give Malastair a visit. I'm not confident in our ability to take Ariadu right now. We are gonna work our way up towards that, but if we can at least do some damage over Malastair and Yagdol, then we can go back in later. I still do want to get our infrastructure score a little bit higher. And maybe we'll come across a light frigate shipyard, which we'll see if that mission ends up actually working or not right now. But we have Stinker Swim. I think that's a debut of a bulwark for us. I might be wrong. Rule of Acquisition number 34. No Rule 34, please. Roger. A Wild Vulpix. We got... I'm not going to read your name, you're not real. Screaming Droid Carrier. We got Sierra Mist. We got Poutine is the Canadian chili cheese fries. Gladiator's Finale. LDC 208 Fury's Onslaught. C9969. Regular one, you don't get a name. Hard Cell Tender, you don't get a name. Spear of Severance, and finally, last but not least, Coin Purse. Like, this is a good chunk of units. So, I think this is definitely going to be a nice one for us to have done. But, like, we don't need to... It doesn't need to be a bunch of Venators we kill every time for it to matter. It's... I think it's a lot more viable now to do this kind of raiding and to like do some battles that aren't necessarily aimed at taking planets, but are meant to put you in a slightly better position for longer term. Because I've been doing that a lot in a lot of the 0.3 preview playthroughs in a way that I didn't really do before. Like, it was a big reason for our success in the Maldruid playthrough. And that had a lot more to do with us being on Cruel. We're not on Cruel right now, obviously. But, there's a light frigate shipyard. Okay, we'll see if that mission ends up working. I don't know if it tracked the deaths of those properly. If not, oh well. It just means we end up losing some opinion later on, which not ideal, but we gotta live with it. While I was heading down to my cousin's wedding, I did some of the refactoring of the mission code, which will make it a bit easier for us to work with going forward. There were some redundancies in like how the Republic and CIS stuff was coded, where they were all in one big file and they were like duplicates of each other essentially, just with the faction names changed. So I kind of made everything its own file, made it so that they were using like the same library of stuff. So it should be a lot easier for us to put those missions into Thrawn's Revenge for one thing, and to expand with different mission types per faction, fix any of the bugs that are outstanding with the existing ones, which I don't think there really are in the ones that stayed for the release. Unless the shipyard hunt did make it in the release. But I think we might have hotfixed it out. I still do need to do one more hotfix, I think. There's one mission that is unreasonably hard, that'll have a more reasonable setup. Like the missions is in that case, I mean the story missions. And there are a few other easy fixes we can put out. But for hotfixes, I try to keep it to stuff that isn't likely to break any save files and isn't likely to cause the game to break if I deploy it. So I'm pretty conservative with which things I put out in hotfixes. Because it usually requires like rebuilding the whatever the version is, whatever the change is, and it's really easy to break something that way. Oh, it looks like the thing's flashing, so I have to check. I don't think we got that though. I'll check if we got a planet out of it. I don't think we did. So I don't think we actually got counted as finishing the mission.
Choose your reinforcements.
Which is sad, but you know what? That's life. Because I think I accidentally enabled that mission when I was doing some changes to the frequency of the other ones. Because I think Joel had turned it off because of the issues with it. So it was all just a big misunderstanding.
Choose your reinforcements.
There's no units that we're killing on this one. And it's only a low-level station, but it's kind of the same situation we were in on Dinon. But I'm hoping this will take their focus away from unit production a little bit in the near future, give us a chance to keep focusing on our economy. Because I'd like to get to the point where we're making probably 15k per week before doing too much more expansion or focusing too much more on unit production. Because I think we're at around 4k of upkeep. I really wish we could take the upkeep out of the display rather than just having it be down there, but I think ultimately what we're going to have to do is have the total upkeep line also show what your net credits will be once upkeep is taken away. Because now it's done through Lua. Before, it would display as part of the overall credits you're making, but that was when it was done through an XML ability, like an income modifier, the same way that, say, tax agencies worked. But the problem with that is if you had the units in transit, it would not count towards upkeep. And if you put your units on the enemy's planet, it was basically a way to cheese their economy and make them pay for your stuff. So it wasn't ideal. And I think what it does now makes a lot more sense. It's just, it can involve subtraction, which is not everyone's strong suit. So yeah, basically what I'm talking about is the credits up here, you gotta subtract the credits down here, and if we just had ship upkeep, and then put in parentheses, net, blah blah blah, per week. At that point, it's like, do you get rid of the income line on the top so that it's not redundant? Because we do end up with a lot of information up here. One of the things with like documentation is you gotta choose not just what information is good for the player to have, but at what point are you giving so much information that the player just ignores it because it gets overwhelming? Okay, yeah, we did not completing for us. But to invade Core 6. So they're coming up to that. We have 165. I wonder if we could...
Do not allow Republic forces to halt your progress.
preempt that a little bit. Okay, we got the Bomus Quarry. Oh, Dana's mom was able to find Vanilla Coke, which is why I have Vanilla Coke, so that's a personal success story. But
Setting course. Coming about.
because Vanilla Coke, it's apparently everywhere in the States. There are some places in Canada that apparently have it, like convenience stores around where Dana's parents live. But it's not in Ottawa anywhere. When I went to Halifax, there were a bunch of like exotic snack stores, and I was able to get it there. But the whenever I tried to go to the exotic snack stores in Ottawa, they're very spread out, so I went on like a multi-hour bus tour of the city to get to them. And so for anyone who knows, I don't know if there's any like local Ottawans who watch the channel, but there's the Byward Market, and there's one like exotic snack store, imported snack store there in the Byward Market. And I looked through the window and there's like one fridge and 3 shelves. There's like nothing in the store. I don't know how they exist there if it's not a front for a drug dealing operation or something. Like the Byward Market, I can't imagine that it's cheap to rent space there. And they had a big space with literally nothing to do with... Not literally nothing. With very little that seemed to be relevant. Then I went down to another one, which was a front for a drug dealing place, like guaranteed, because it seemed to be, it's Twist and Twirl. So one of them, I think Twirl is the candy store and Twist is the marijuana dispensary. So at least they're up front with their drug dealing, which is fine. Like I'm not saying they shouldn't be selling weed, but I just can't understand how the other one is in existence without also selling at least weed, if not more. But it was weird because, like, to get into the candy store, you had to, like, buzz or knock, and then I guess the staff would come over from the weed place, but I didn't want to knock on the door to be let into a candy store. It felt kind of awkward. So I just... I took an hour to get there, I just left and went home. So... it was kind of pointless. It didn't look like they had that much in there. So basically the point of this is if you're in Ottawa, and you know where Vanilla Coke is, please let me know in the comments, please. Alright, FedEx. And we got Tempest. We have a Providence Dreadnought. I don't think we've got a... Oh, we do have a hypervelocity gun coming in. Oof.
Shields online.
Did you keep your engines? You did. I don't think I can risk this. And they've already left if they were here.
Shields back online.
Alright, I think I gotta retreat, and I'd probably have to come in with FedEx as our Pathfinder. I don't know. I need a Lucra Hulk is kind of what I really want. Like, we'd be able to win this, don't get me wrong, it's just I don't want to give up units right now.
Construction complete.
Oh, if you actually get to Quarter 6, then that's cool. If that's gonna lose us a station, that is 209, but this is 165. And I kind of think, like, if we have a Pathfinder, this could work out alright. I'm not counting us out yet. Because what is it? It's 2 Invincibles, we got 3 Acclimators, 2 Venators, 9 Dreadnoughts. We're gonna have pretty close fighters to each other. I'll have a bit of an advantage there, especially if I can knock out the Venators and Acclimators quickly.
Republic Defenders.
Okay, so I think we're gonna try to split them up. So we'll leave you here, and do we have anything? I guess Dark Profiteer is the best to put in there. So we'll let them just go towards one of them. Hopefully they'll split up the... Hopefully they'll just split up the forces. And I guess I should have just waited a little bit longer. But it looks like they are kind of splitting. Unfortunately... Are the Venators and Invincibles going together? It looks like they're not sure what they want to do. Well, we'll see what happens. Like, if I can't destroy... Like, our priority here is to destroy what we can of theirs, and mostly just not lose anything of ours. So... I don't know if we're gonna... It depends on how much they split up, but we might not be able to destroy everything. Let's see if we can... We can take out what they have coming up this way, the Acclimators. So, Debt Collector, Tempest, you can go in. We got SpaceX, we got It's Fine, we got FedEx Corporation, we got Grievous' Skeleton Key, Captive Audience, Ammo Supplier, Temparis, and Cannon Fodder, Hard Cell Missile Ship, and Dooku was a Visionary? Well, we're going to get rid of the Acclimators pretty easily. Then there's a few Dreadnoughts. We're not going to have to worry about fighters on this half of it, which is nice. But I don't know if 2 Acclimators and a couple Dreadnoughts is enough to really celebrate over. It's too bad they went for this side with Dark Profiteer instead of this side with Dark Side has Cookies. Because we could have single unit retreated. Dark Side has Cookies. Alright, let's move behind a little bit there. We're still getting some of them going over that way. Like, we might be able to get some bombers over to that Venator. Melbalab. Y'all. Then we get some Vultures over there. Even more Vultures. We just want to kill those as much as we can. And Tri-Fighters. Alright. Like, I think we can kill that Venator with just the bombers that we have on this side. Don't get too distracted by anything that's not a bomber, as far as our fighters are concerned. Let's get you guys over. Like, I don't want to engage with what's over here, but, like, if we have these 3 sections where we're able to do a bunch of damage to the... At least do a bunch of damage, maybe even destroy the Venator, and then, like, the rest of the stuff in this little group. That could be really good. Alright, turning you around. Turning you around.
Awaiting instructions.
I need to just turn this whole group around.
Navigating to coordinates.
Alright, I think we made out okay on those. No, you need to get back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause any problems with that. Alright, that Venator is done. We lost a couple bombers for it. I need to make sure I don't do that, because I've just made them target different stuff. Or I made them target the same stuff. Can we do the same thing with the... with this Acclimator? Alright, we've got a really good advantage here. We might be able to just win outright. Like, if we just take out this, that's all the Acclimators down. We can stop them from reinforcing. And I think our fleet can take out the stuff that's coming in here. As long as we concentrate fire properly, we don't waste any of our firepower. That ACK is down. Can we get up? No, I think we need to focus on the stuff we're engaging. I don't want to spread too much. Alright, we can't retreat. The engines are down on that. I mean, we can retreat. We're just not going to on that. We lose you. Okay, our fighters are uninvolved right now. Maybe I'm making a mistake staying around beyond this. Power to shields up. Let's make sure we got those bombers still. Let's get the bombers after the dreadnoughts. Any of our bombers go for the dreadnoughts. We still have engines on you. And alright, I think now we do want to get our bombers to go after that Venator, because that's going to be the next threat coming in, and there's more of their bombers coming in from this side too. So any of you guys get onto that Ven. Do we have anything else back here? We do have a couple more. Don't go too far up. You still got engines. Like, we could retreat if we need to, but I don't think we need to. I think we're okay. I think this is working out better. than I would have expected so far. I think that split was hopefully enough to give us a safe win on this. Okay, we need to kill that fighter bay. Alright. Make sure we keep killing their bombers on spawn. Alright, let's get these bombers over there. Vultures. Stay on those. Do we have any more tri-fighters? We actually have a big swarm of them coming in. That's going to be all of those. You can get back up. You have shields again. You don't. But do we have any munis? We do. So we can get that Mooney in front, and we can stop them from getting this invincible in. I just need to turn on... That's going to be just out of range. There we go. Alright, shields are down. I think we actually got this. Okay, I think we're going to lose Debt Collector for that, but... I'm not sure if they would have done enough damage before. Maybe that wasn't worth the sacrifice there. Yeah. Like, I think that Providence Dreadnought would have been okay, but I'd rather lose the Munificent over the Providence Dreadnought. So, not a trade I wanted to make, but considering everything else we've killed, I'm not going to be too upset about that. All right. I think that's a really good way to recover a little bit. That was one of the fleets that's been causing a lot of problems. We lost Dark Profiteer, Darkside has Cookie, so our two heroes of the battle splitting their forces up, and then we lost Debt Collector, and that's it. I'm okay with that, considering what we killed. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.